Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised.
In Robeson County say an argument over missing money led to a shooting that left 3 family members dead and another injured. WRAL broke the story yesterday afternoon. It happened just outside the town of Red Springs. WRAL reporter Gilbert Bays is live at the Robeson County Sheriff's Office, where details about the victims and the suspected shooter were released. Gilbert.
Yeah, Renee, the sheriff here just emphasized to confirm the information that we reported yesterday. But one thing he wanted to emphasize is the fact that the victims and the shooter, they were all related. In fact, he says that the shooter in this case was the nephew of the 71-year-old woman who was shot and taken to the hospital. In fact, she let him stay in his house so he wouldn't be homeless. Now, Sky 5 flew over the scene yesterday.
Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. This is your humble servant, Big Levi. And today is Zedek, January 26, 2023. And it's currently 8:43 p.m. Eastern Time, pre-recorded. Now, beloved, we had spoken about this before concerning letting certain people in your home. Okay. It's saddened me, of course. This 71-year-old woman, she had her nephew. Well, I thought it was a cousin when we discussed it. So that was a nephew she let inside, okay, of her home, okay. And then there was an argument about missing money, and he ended up killing her children, or her son and her daughter. All right. Now, beloved, I'm not against this have to be said. The Christian mindset of being a good Samaritan. We had before go into great details concerning the Samaritan, okay? The Samaritan were horrible people. They were horrible people. And the guy that they are saying that it was a good Samaritan, it was a Hebrew man that live in Samaria. Okay, we will get the scriptures, okay, to show you like the so-called Samaritan, they were horrible people. Okay, all right. And there is let me get it right quick. All right, now. Forgive me, beloved. You might hear certain no's out there, but anyway, the so-called the good Samaritan mindset, or be a good Samaritan and taking care of quote unquote this person, give him a place to stay and stuff like that. I'm not against not helping your brothers, your sisters, or not helping the homeless, but I have to tell you the whole Samaritan is a Christian mindset and is very dangerous. The Samaritan were horrible people. Well, the people that invade Samaria were not our people. Okay, now understand, during the time of King Nebuchadnezzar, all right, when our forefathers, they indeed angered the mighty one, so he sent the Babylonian, the Chaldees, the Syrian against us and destroyed us. Okay, now this is what happened. We'll begin in 2 Kings chapter 22, 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 22. For the children of Israel walk in all the sins of Jeroboam, okay, which he did, they depart not from them. So Jeroboam was one of the king that was doing a bunch of wickedness, okay. All right, he did a bunch of nonsense. He killed a bunch of people. He did he went for the Lord. Actually, he he killed our people for practicing the law so they can walk in the way of the Gentiles and stuff. So the children of Yasharala, they did this. One thing they don't tell you there, that there were a lot of people greater in number that did not partake into those. And during that time, they were removed from quote unquote this specific place. They were removed from the children of Israel, and then they were put in a safe place, in a safe haven, so to speak. All right. Now, for the children of Israel, walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants, the prophets. Okay, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. Now, the Most High do not do collateral damage. He sent his prophets or his servants. They were warning our people. They never listen. Till this day, they don't care. That's why this thing happened to the so-called 71-year-old, because of course they are Christian. They don't care when you warn them. A lot of people don't. Our people, they simply do not care. Okay, and a lot of them, why they don't care? Because they know for a fact when they do these things, and the Most High gonna punish all of us. They are wrong. All right, the Most High removed the one that was not sinning against him. He put them in a safe place, and the one that did things before him, he destroyed them. All right, now with the nation, okay, the one that was doing all those bad stuff, they were carrying away from their own land. Okay, they removed them, okay, from their own land to Assyria unto this day. Okay, so a lot of people saying when they say they remove them from their own land, they literally take the ownership from the land. Okay, when a land is desolate from you, that means the land doesn't have a king. We discussed this before. The land doesn't have a king over it. It doesn't have priests. It doesn't have any leader, any chosen, nothing. The land is desolate unto you. That doesn't mean the land doesn't belong to you, or the land is like a desert. There's nobody live there. No, it means that the land has no proper authority, or the original authority has been removed, has been revoked, and now they brought the new people. So the so-called the Assyrian came, okay, all right, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon. Okay, listen to what the king of Assyria did. He brought men from Babylon, and from Kuta, and from Ava, and from Amath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the city of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwell in the city thereof. So Samaria is the city of the Samaritan. Okay, after king, all right, the king of Azariah, King Nebuchadnezzar. Remember, we had a whole lesson about the book of Nebuchadnezzar 2 tablets, okay, which you can find it online, the Nebuchadnezzar 2 tablet. We had a whole lesson that tell a whole different story of what happened. Now, King Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Assyria, okay, he literally brought men from Babylon, okay, Kuta, another heathen city, Ava, another Gentile city, Amath, another Gentile city, Sepharvaim, another Gentile city, and placed them in the city of Samaria. So Samaria was originally our people, our city. We were the good Samaritan originally. We were living in there, but because what we did with King Jeroboam, and we effed up everything, so we got expelled from the city. Now the king brought men, all those Gentiles, he placed them in the land, and guess what they did with the land? And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they fear not the Lord. So those people were living in our city Samaria. And then again, this is the covenant, this is the agreement that the man, is that thing even recording? Let me see, is it recording? Yes, it is. Okay, this is the agreement that the Most High God made with all Gentiles. Listen, when you guys are whipped for the back of my children. When they all misbehave, I'm gonna send you to them and you're going to whip them into correction. However, you have and you must keep all my law because you're on my land. The land is not yours. I just allow you to go over there. Will you take my commitment and follow them and show my children the way that they're supposed to do? They say yes. And then the Messiah said, then go on to the land. What do? Okay, when they get there. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they fear not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. So the mighty one, because they did not fear the Messiah, they went in there and do the same scumbag stuff that our people were doing. The Heavenly Father sent lions in the midst of them. When he said lions, they did be like any ferocious beast, like any kind of beast he sent there, then the lions were killing them. Okay, all right. Wherefore they spake to the king of Azariah, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he has sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. Now, when the lion was killing the so-called people that was living in the city of Samaria, okay, the Samaritan, but not the true Samaritan, just like you got the American, but that they are not the original American, okay? So now the lions was killing them. So one of the leaders over there went to Nebuchadnezzar, and then they said, Nebuchadnezzar, the people that you put in the land of Samaria, they don't know the law of the land. They don't know the God of the land. They cannot serve him. Therefore, the God of the land sent lions to kill them. So we need to do something to remedy that, okay? Then the king of Assyria commanded and said, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land. So the king of Assyria, Nebuchadnezzar, which was a wise king, by the way, he become effed up because he become too proud. You know, I'm sensing he was a Shemeshite. He become too proud. He was a very wise king. The Mosai, you know, he did respect the Mosai when the Mosai made the agreement, made the covenant with him. He respect the Mosai. You know, he did everything that the Mighty One command him to do. Then he got proud. Then he got so much power. Okay. Then he mocked the Mosai. He called the Mosai all sort of names. Like the Mighty One didn't give him anything. He built everything with his own strength. So the Mosai turn him into a beast and all that. The Mosai turn him into a gontikwa. Okay. All right. Let's look what I don't think they have. Let me see. What is a gontikwa? Well, it's not there. You have to a gon t kwa gontikwa. Is that what that is? The gontikwa. Okay. All right. The Mosai turned him into a gontikwa. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The Mosai turned him into a gontikwa. Okay. Like a werewolf kind of creature. Okay, the king Nebuchadnezzar, because he was very proud. He spake great, well, werewolf-like creatures. Okay, werewolf-like creature, but a very bad, evil, scary, ugly creature. So that's when but he was a nice, you know, the wise king. He said, you know what, I know why. Take the Levites and bring them unto the land, and have them teach the people that live in the land of Samaria the way of the Mighty One. Okay, so they can dwell, you know, the way that they're supposed to dwell in the land. Because the Nebuchadnezzar were good friend with Daniel, because he literally, remember, he put a gold chain around Daniel. He said, Daniel, after me it's you, just rule the kingdom. We made the Babylonian system. We gave them a righteous system, because they know for a fact they didn't have a righteous system. That's why he said, he didn't say take the Babylonian priests and go over there, okay, and then have them teach them the way of the Lord. He say, no, take ye of the Yasharel priest and go over there. Okay, that's why Babylon becomes so great. It is because of our law, of our mind, of our skills, of our passion, knowledge, and wisdom. We build the Babylonian system. It is the system. It is our system, but it was perverted just like Samaria was or is perverted by the people that they brought into here. Okay, the Babylonian system is a righteous system that was built by our people. The Assyrian system was a righteous system that was built by our people, but then the so-called Gentiles cannot rule or thrive in a righteous system because they themselves are unrighteous, they themselves are wicked. Therefore, they need to co-opt and pervert everything that is righteous that we give unto them, such as the Babylonian system. That is why the king Nebuchadnezzar told, quote unquote, the men that came unto him, he said, grab some of the priests, grab the Levites, okay, go over there in the land. They will teach them the laws, the way that to do this thing. Now, why he said grab the Levites? Remember, when our people split up, when king of Israel say, hey, I'm gonna call myself Israel, I'm gonna go in the fourth part, and then the southern kingdom say, well, I'm gonna call myself Judah, I'm gonna go to the third part, and then they split. So now you got 12 kingdoms, okay, 12 nations split into two kingdoms. Each of them, everywhere they go, they took Levites with them, because you cannot go without the so-called the Levites. The Levites called drain unto. It's a connection between the tribes and the mighty one. That's why when the Danites, aka the Vikings, okay, were leaving the tribe, they took Levites with them. That's why the Zebulonites were leaving the tribe, they took Levites with them. The Asherites, the Issacharites, all of them, when they left, they took Levites with them, because one, that's why they didn't give Levi any land. He's the only out of the 12 sons that the mighty one say, Levi, you will have no land. Everywhere that you go is your land. He said, Levi, you don't walk, you don't do anything. All that you do is do my work. Okay, so the Levites, they're not supposed to work. Okay, well, again, let me correct what I just said. Okay, so when people see me working, they're like, yo, big Levi, you a Levite and stuff. It's just a name. I have no idea if I'm one or not. But anyway, a Levite, okay, they are not supposed to do anything else but the work of the Lord. That's why anybody that want to communicate with the Heavenly Father, they come and get the Levites. That's why the quote unquote, when the Gentiles swagger jackals, they make it a law not to kill or harm the Levites. Okay, that's why they took Daniel, they took all the Levites, the priests, they protect them because they know they have that secret knowledge. All right. And the Levites were wicked, man. Those were probably among the greatest scumbags. Anyway, but the point is here, the so-called Levites were brought into the land, all right? And they taught the so-called the people that were living in the land of Samaria, which was not the original Samaritan, okay? Now, the God, the manner of the God of the land, then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, okay? Bethel, which I wasn't supposed to say this name, but it means house of God, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Okay, how it be every nation made gods of their own and put them in the houses and the high places which the Samaritans, okay, had made every nation in the city wherein they dwell. So, and what happened there, they brought a priest over there, which was, I believe, was Daniel. Daniel taught them the way to worship the Lord. Okay, because every nation in that land that was living in there, they make God, they make the idols, the little things to worship, okay, after their own, and put them in houses of high places which the Samaritan has made. Okay, so the Samaritan that was living in that Samaria at that time are not the original Samaritan. Okay, so, and the men from Babylon made Succoth Benoth their god, okay, and the men of Kof made Nergal their god, and the men of Hamath made Ashima their god, and the Avites made Nebaz and Tartak, and the Sepharvite burned their children in the fire of Adramelech and Anamelech, the gods of the Sephaim. So this practice of sacrificing your children, cutting their throat, burning them, it is not something we do. Just like we keep telling our people, the practice of a man, baking, crossing sword with another man, a man riding another man, mechanical bull. Those are not our original practice. Those were things that were important and implemented in force, and our people got intimidated into doing things like that. Okay, those weren't our stuff. We didn't burn our children to fire so we can have a good harvest. Okay, we didn't kill our children because we want our wife to have 2 more. That's not what that is. We didn't do those things. Those were the quote unquote the Samaritan that were doing this stuff. Okay, they fear. Okay, so they feared the Lord and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, which sacrificed to them in the house of high places. They feared the Lord and served their own gods after the manner of the nation whom they carried away from thence. Now, what happened when the Daniel or the priest, the Levi priest, went over there and taught them everything? He had quote unquote consecrate them, or another word, baptize them, okay, and make them holy as a form of a lower priesthood, just like the reverends now, the Pope. Those are lower priesthood. He said you guys can do certain things in certain degree. You cannot go do what we true Levites do. We kind of like lost the power, but while you guys are upon the land, do this and do that, the mighty one will have respect unto it. He made them a lower, type of priests in the high places. And what did they do? Did they follow? They literally, they got the power now. They say, okay, now that we have the power, we know how the Most High works, we will make our own Most High. So that's what the so-called Catholic Church did. When our brethren make them into a lower priest, baptize them. Baptize literally mean consecrate. That's all it means, to consecrate, to pass on certain power with limit on them. So when they do that, so they make their own little gods and then and things like that. So, and then of course they fear the Lord. They fear the Most High God, but they serve their own God. The Most High allowed them. The Most High, excuse me. The Most High allowed them to fear Him. As long as they fear Him, they don't F with Him, they can serve their idol, because they are not the mighty one's people. As long as they don't come to us, they teach us how to serve their idols, the Most High don't care about that. So now, unto this day they do after the former manners. They fear not the Lord, neither did they after their statutes, or after their ordinances, or after the law and commandment which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, who He named Israel. So now what they do, once they swagger jack the land, we teach them, and then they're like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it. We will obey. They fear the Lord a little bit for a little time, and then they come back in their own backwarded wickedness, and then till this day they rejected the statute. Because if you live upon the land, the holy land, you must follow the statutes, you must follow the ordinances, the law and the commandment and policies and rules, just like the Most High give it to the children of Jacob. You have to follow it. If you effed up, you're going to receive the same punishment that we had received, because we ourselves had messed up. So you messed up, now you're going to receive the same thing, because you should not have agreed upon the covenant when the mighty one say, if I let you upon my land, will you follow me and do my commandment and stuff? You say yes, and you take everything that the Most High give you, just like in the past, you perverted everything, you serve your own God with it. All right, with whom the Lord had made a covenant and charged them, saying, ye shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourself to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice them. The Lord tell them the same thing that he told Yasharel, he told them, but they didn't care. So now, beloved, those people that they stay in the city of Samaritan, or Samaria, they dwell there, they call those people the Samaritan, and they were horrible people, they burn their children. The father have offspring with their own daughter. The son have offspring with their own mother. They rape each other, men raping men. It was horrible. They did horrible things. They killed and ill that kill and eat they eat flesh, men flesh. Okay, when they say do not eat flesh, they're talking about men flesh. That's why they eat men flesh as a consumption, and they eat men flesh as a copulation. Now, so all those things, they were doing horrible things, man. And everybody that were living around that knew the true children of the Messiah that were living in the land of Samaria, they know it's not them, and they feared the people of Samaria. Okay, the people of Samaria will go around there, swag a jack, cut off your throat, and kill you and take everything that you have. And they were robbers. Okay, that is why in the book of Matthew, okay, verse 5, Matthew chapter 10, verse 5, and then our big brother said, 12, these 12, Jesus, okay, that's what they say in the Bible, set forth and command them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritan enter ye not. Now, remember, brethren, we are talking about the heaven. We are talking about astrology here. When Big Brother told them, listen, do not go to the Gentiles, he literally gave the so-called the 12 zodiacal sign, the 12 zodiac houses or schools or homes. He gave them commitment not to be in the favor of the Gentiles. He did not send them to teach the Gentiles or to gather them, to give them power. He sent them unto us. He sent the 12 zodiac sign, which is the zone girdling the earth that has 365 principles in them, which we study all of them. I know in my house, I know a couple intelligences in my house, and I'm pretty sure some people will type some intelligences that they know in their house. My house is the first house, the house of Aries. I'm a Shemeshite. I was born in the house of Aries. So I'm a Shemeshite Madimite, because Madim is ruled, Aries is ruled by Madim. Only us Shemeshite, or the people from the sun, are very unique because we were sent to be light unto people. Okay, we are the only person. I was adopted as a Madimite. Okay, I'm a Shemeshite Madimite. That's the only people that can do this. But anyway, so he said to the 12 apostles, or the 12 disciples, don't go to the city of the Gentiles. Don't go to the city of the heathens. And who were to the city of the heathen? He said, don't go to the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. He said, don't go to any of the city of the Gentiles, especially those them mother lovers Samaritan, man. Don't go to them, because they are not our people. They are strictly, they've been doing this Israelite for hundreds of years, man. Okay, hundreds of years, if not thousands, until the time of Yahushua. He told them not to go in the city of Samaritans, because the Samaritans were horrible people. The only time with the you know, it said, let me finish this. Go not into the city of the, and enter and go not into the way of the Gentiles. Don't go to the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So he sent, okay, the 12 apostles, the 12 disciples, aka the 12 zodiac sign, to literally come and teach us. That's why we call the so-called 12 zodiac sign schools. We learn from the school of Aries, we learn from the school of Taurus, we learn from the school of Gemini, Cancer, and so on and so forth. That's why they're called schools. Well, at least we call them schools or houses. We from different energies. I'm from the energy of the sun. Some of you from the energy of the moon, the energy of Mars, the energy of Mercury, the energy of Jupiter. Jupiter is Zedek, Melchizedek, Zedekiah, anything with Zedek in it, which in the righteous king and all that, the Nogahites, the Shabbatite and all that. But we are each landed in the schools. We learn there. I have a couple schools that I need to go to and learn, and then after that I'm done. Okay, so that's what it is. So when the Christians said to be a good Samaritan, that guy, which was like quote unquote they thought was a good Samaritan, he wasn't a good Samaritan. Excuse me. The guy that was attacked Okay, the victim that was attacked, he was attacked by Samaritan. They beat him and then do certain other stuff to the fellow, stole his money, and then another person, one of our people that were do things that was going to Samaria, do his business and stuff. He cared for the fellow, and then they call him a good Samaritan. But generally, brethren, the so-called Samaritans are horrible people, man. Do not try to be a good Samaritan, because they were horrible people. There is no such thing as a good Samaritan. That Samaritan was one of us. Thus saying that lady that invited her nephew in her home, tried to be a good Samaritan, the fellow killed her son, killed her daughter, and then shot her and killed another friend. He killed 3 people and left. He was not, he's a true Samaritan. Okay, the sister, I will assume he's one of us, and that guy that did this, he's a true Samaritan, because the Samaritan look just like us. Skin folk. A lot of skin folk, they look just like us. Okay, so that is where the story came from. Okay, for the people of Samaria, they're horrible people. All right. Oh, good grief. Boy, I take so long to explain this. Now, we have that clear. No good Samaritan. There's no such thing like that. They are horrible people. All right, let's keep on moving.
In the afternoon, while investigators gathered evidence and searched for the suspect. Now, during this morning's press conference.
Okay, so now when this is the people that he did, let me enlarge this. All right, let me enlarge this. Okay, good Christian family there. All right, that's the grandmother. Okay, 71. She doesn't look 71, of course. This brother right here, I believe that's the son. You know, number 35, 3 + 5. You know what to do. Okay, that's the daughter right there. And then he was a longtime friend. He was just at the house. Okay, so I believe that's what I watched this morning. Okay, so he took over. He shot all 4 of them. She survived. All those 3 didn't. All right, so let us keep on. Go ahead. Okay.
The sheriff held up a picture of the 4 victims. James Beauregard, Donald Williams, and Sierra Wary were all found dead at the scene. 71-year-old Aquila Biggs survived. She was rushed to the hospital. Now, investigators say all the victims were shot multiple times by 46-year-old Corey Leak. We're told that he...
How old was this fellow? All right. Ooh, I'm running out of water, excuse me. That fellow was 46 years old, and we know who's in the midst. We know why this happened. Of course, they're a Christian family. They don't listen. They follow the way of the Gentiles. And of course, brethren, a Christian is a follower of Christ. A Christian, Christ literally means Christos from Greek, which means chosen, okay, a leader. We are the chosen. We are the Christ. They're supposed to follow us, not the other way around. You know, when you go to those type of Christian church, you are following the doctrine. We have our own. They're supposed to follow us. We're supposed to consecrate them. In other words, we're supposed to baptize them. When the true meaning of baptize, that's not what that Christian are doing in the church in the water. That's not what that is. It literally means to passing on a certain limited power onto someone so they can follow the law. We just read it in the book of in the book of Kings, when Daniel went over there and then consecrate those guys and baptize them and make them into a lower priesthood so they can follow the law to a limit to the Most High, but they effed up. You know, we have the higher priesthood. Those guys got the lower. But anyway, so let us keep on moving and decipher this. Boy, I'm thirsty.
Fled the scene on a moped, but was eventually captured without incident near the town of Manasseh.
Look at the guy, man. You always have to look at their eyes, man. Okay, you gotta look at the eyes. Look at this dude's side. Okay, he has 2 sides right there. If you separated him, okay, there is a side that is more light over there, you know, and then there's a side that is darker. You can literally look at those dudes and know exactly, man, like, yo, something is off here, man, and you know, crazy, man.
Wilkins confirmed what we reported yesterday, that Leak was out on parole after serving 27 years for murder that happened in 1993.
So, and he served 27. You know what to do. All those things, brethren. Listen, certain stuff you should, well, at least by the family, you should see those. You should know what they are if those situations are presented to you. You know, if they are present to you or somebody, you know, you're talking to say, hey, man, I was in there for 27 years and I need a place to sleep. Like, well, okay. Brother, I'm not the Salvation Army. I'm not Goodwill. I'm not a homeless shelter, man. Hey, it's you on your own, man. Go build your own stuff because you messed up 27 years of your life, and I'm not here to fix that. I'm just, brethren, we have to be real with this thing, man. You are not here to fix people's life. That's not what that is, man. You know, you give a little advice, not money, not place to sleep, not bring those people inside of your home, near your family, where your family dwell. Remember, your place, your house is where the Most High abide there, man. There are angels there, man. Once you brought a demon like that, the angels left because you choose the demons over to them. Okay?
And that's what disturbs me about this whole situation. I know a lot of folks want to blame law enforcement. A lot of folks want to blame, the criminal justice system. I think it's quite obvious where the blame lies. We're doing our job. Folks, we're doing our job.
So
I'm just asking others to do theirs.
Okay, this guy, he literally took the whole blame and he shifted off of him. Like, yeah, man, we give this guy 27 years. Now they of course they're gonna take this thing and like make it like anytime somebody that look like him, which is a Samaritan, do something like that, and then a Hebrew that just driving a car and then switch lane without putting the signal, they deserve the same thing. Put them to death or put them for life. You know, it's in the code word.
Had this guy been locked up like he should have been, none of this would have occurred.
Yeah, because he said he was supposed to be there for life because, you know, he killed somebody before. Okay, those guys don't care, man. They took lives before, man. They don't care, dog. Anybody that take lives before, they can do it again. They'll tell you. That's why I told you the story about that young lady that told this dude, I can kill you right now, and they won't even know if I did it. I can get away with it. And she says something to that context. She said, I can get away with it again. Something like she was dead serious. Those are the people. All right.
If that guy will shoot his own family members, just imagine what he would do to you and I.
Okay.
Now, sheriff says the suspect is cooperating with the investigation. The sheriff says the motive for the shooting was not drug-related. Leaks told him that it was over some missing money, but sources close to this investigation and family members told me if you follow that missing money, it will eventually lead to drugs. Now, the sheriff says the 71-year-old victim in this case is at the hospital. She's going to survive.
Okay, she's 71 years old. Okay, now when you all those things, it's a horrible thing, but you know it's when one this to happen.
The sheriff.
Okay, she's 71. 7 plus 1 equal 8. 35 over there. 3 plus 5 equal 8. No beginning. The Most High is tending the earth. I don't know if the sister will learn her lesson, but that's a horrible thing right here. Let's keep on moving, brethren.
Still on scene here on Summer Street on what we now know is a crime scene and a gut-wrenching family tragedy. It was the man who lives here who came home tonight and called 911 because he found his family scattered and bleeding. The district attorney says that the woman who lives here tried to take her own life by jumping out of a window. That was just after 6 p.m. when police and ambulances arrived on scene, and they found 3 children under the age of 5 unconscious with obvious signs of trauma. A 5-year-old girl and a 3-year-old boy were transported to a local hospital, but they died of their injuries. An 8-month-old boy was med-flighted to Boston. Both he and his mother remain hospitalized tonight. The DA says it will take some time to sort this out.
Crazy.
As I have often said at these terrible events, this is a slow and steady process. We're not here to do it quick. We're here to do it right.
Yeah, so for those of you that have been following us, who've been watching those news, we had seen this happen multiple times. Mothers just literally took their children, fathers took the wife and the children, and they just cannot cope with what we've been coping. So remember, those people are like 3 years into this thing since 2020, and you see all those things are happening. Okay, they cannot go under the stress that we went through. They weren't built for that. Okay, you spent 400 years sitting on the couch, you know, eating all sort of junk food, and all of a sudden now you want to be fit like we are. That's not your body your heart cannot handle this. Okay, things will happen to you. So whether they were our people or Samaritans, they could be Samaritans, because our people do not have the heart to do things like this, man. You know, it's crazy. Like when you see people removing other people's head, man, with the kitchen knife. No children of the lights are able to do this type of nonsense, man. It's just like, yo, you know.
Now, the Duxbury police chief says that this is an isolated incident. There is no danger to anyone else in the community. Of course, just a tragic situation. People are really reeling here in the Duxbury community. We'll wait to learn more, including the names of these family members, tomorrow at the very earliest.
Okay, all right. So now, one thing I want to mention about the fellow Corey that did this, okay, he took a life before, all right? So let me tell you something when it comes to taking people's lives, all right? When your lives are not in danger. Well, I'll say to an extent that, I'll say to an extent that I am allowed to say. You see the planet Shabbatai or Saturn, the George? Beloved, you don't want to go ahead and see what those people are going through there. The people that take others' life because of greed, because of the 7 deadly sins, so to speak. Okay, because of like, I don't like you, man. Or you get into an argument and that guy call you a name, call you fat or skinny. That guy call you because Chiali kill a dude because the dude tell him to, you know, perform fellatio on him. You know how New York Negroes get, man. Hey, man, suck my. And he tell him that. I said, what? You said what? And then he kill the guy. And his anger. Let me tell you what would happen if you do anything like this. In anger, you take the life of someone, which is not good, because the mighty one strike us in his anger. Okay, he didn't do it for a lack of a better word in his right mind. He was super angry, and then he hit us with his full might, and we are damaged. Like, we are damaged beyond repair. So he let us know that he had stricken us in his anger, because that's we deserve that. Sometimes somebody deserves that. Some mofo deserve it. You tell this person to stop, that person is all about it, and you snap. It happened. All right. Now, let's say for something like that, there was an argument, and you know, money. Somebody stole the money in there. For instance, all people were on the $5 challenge. I almost dropped the ball on that thing, almost, but I didn't. I'm back on track. I'm almost done. I got probably another 200 or 300 flour. Then the deal is closed. I'm good. So the fellow, the guy that you know, did this, you know, he took the life because of some missing money. Now, the people in the nation that are on the $5 channel, let's say if, Lord forbid, something like that happened to you, man, don't go around and then just assume that somebody swagger jack you, and then you take the life of this person for some paper, man. Okay, calm down, do your investigation. If it is true, you do the proper step, you know, legally you do the proper step. But if it's something, you know, like that, you don't go around and start, you know, blasting on fools, man. You don't do this. Now, this fellow that did this, brethren, he took a life before. So now he took 3 more lives. So he took 4 lives. Do you know what's going to happen to this guy? Do you? In the movie, well, it's not a movie. It's a cartoon on, well, not cartoon, an animated series. Well, what is this? Son of Zeus? Netflix, Son of Zeus? Is that what that is? Oh, crap, you copied it. Watch Blood of Zeus. Okay, Netflix, Blood of Zeus. Okay, this is a great animated movie, man. Okay, and this movie, those are these are our stories, so I get jacked, of course. And this story, this dude, where is he? Where's the guy? I really did like Era in there. She was a Noga height. She was very feminine in there. They didn't made her into some kind of like strong woman, go over there and do strong stuff. She was very, there we go. Is that the guy? That's the dude. That guy, he was what you see the spear that the spear that he carried in his hand. The spear belonged to Hades. Oh, I spoiled the whole thing. So he was going around killing a bunch of people. Then, anyway, I'll spoil it. He was killing a bunch of people, okay? He thought he was doing some righteous thing until he died himself. Then he went to hell, okay? And then when he went to hell, before he went to hell, he met Era, okay? Which was like, he met her. And she told him, she said, do you know what's awaiting you behind those walls? Do you know something to that effect? He said, do you know what awaiting you in hell? And then the dude, like, he was speaking very proud, like, I don't give a, man, I'm Disney, I'm done and stuff, until when he died. And then he went to Hades, of course, Shabbatai, the host of Shabbatai, Pluto, or in other words, Saturn. And then once he go there, and then he didn't even get in yet. He saw, like, he felt the vibration when he's going through hell, and then he met Hades, and Hades say, you did your deeds are great. This is the guy. Hades say, do you know what's gonna happen to you? And the guy, you can see it in his face, he felt like a child that was about to cry, man. The guy was deathly afraid because he can feel the vibration of Shabbatai, man. He can feel it, man. The guy was, the dude that was never afraid. He killed practically everyone. So he was definitely afraid because the stuff that they do to you. I personally, in my dream, I told the nation, the mighty one, had allowed me to go to those places, and I've seen what happened to those people on the other side. And I'm like, oh, hell no. That's sort of people that did one thing. This guy took 4. Do you know what's going to happen to you when you do? Beloved, man. Yo, horrible things they did do down there, man. Remember the guy keeps saying, the guy that I saw in my dream, and the guy like, you don't want to go in this place, man. You don't want to go in that place, man. You don't want to go in. He's walking around repeating. He was a dude. He was not even there. He was a visitor just like me. When I got down there and he got down there with me. He got out effed up because he didn't have a guide. I had a guide. And then he just walking around. He stayed by the hole where he got in there. He keeps saying the same thing over and over. Like he's walking saying the same thing. He's shaking his head left to right. He's rubbing his belly. He's like something. He's like, there's kind of like a bunch of insects or things twirling around in his belly or around in his body. Is working around. He got messed up in the head because of the thing that he saw. I was allowed to see certain things to a certain degree, to a certain level, but that guy, I believe he saw too much. So terrible things, man. And I think the Most High God Almighty, man, that he gave me the opportunity to see this, and I'll do the best that I can do, to excuse me, not to do this. Now on a lighter point, I think we're done with this thing. Well, since we're done with that, let's take this. Excuse me. There's a sister that had a dream in the community. Shalom. In the community post. If you go to the community post, there's a sister. Okay, many of the sisters have a dream. That's the sister that had the dream about the chariot came in and pick up a bunch of people. Okay, this is the dream the sister had. Okay, Shalom, big if I wanna this dream is straight from the Holy Spirit. Okay, she received the dream from the night. So this is the creature that she described to me. Okay, and then I tried to make it to the best of my ability. Okay, those are the creature that was, attacking, eating people. Okay, the Most High God know for a fact that a lot of people out there, they think the Gentiles don't sin. Okay, they are copying the Gentiles. They are doing everything that they can do to defend the Gentiles. Therefore, they will. So the dream is about karma, not staying in front of people. Okay, that's the creature that she saw in her dream. Okay, that's the best I could have done it. And then, that's the creature that was in the middle of the road. Okay, some kind of like alien, creature, the way that she described it, it's sticking in the road. And then they were all over the truck and all that. So that's like a visual representation of what the sister was telling in the dream. Okay, so which is a terrible thing. Those things they are real. It's no joke. All right. So those creatures, all right, they do exist, and what the sister saw is nothing but a futuristic vision. All right, a futuristic vision. All those things happen at the same time. This sister have the same dream with that sister. They were both in the same dream. This sister see the redemption, all people being taken up. That sister see the rest being destroyed. Okay, terrible things if you met a creature like this, man. And they are intelligent. They are not just like mindless creatures. They are they are more intelligent than any man on this planet. You know, crazy, man, crazy. So just to let the nation know this thing is real. We are not making this up. You can go to our website, biglevi.com. You can download our books, our stuff, and yeah, you can go to the website, go to Holy Fast, and get the 7 wave. No, wait, no, that's a holy testimony. Let me get to homework. We should have the 7. Oops, okay, too many requests. There are too many people going to the site. So if you can go to our website, go to homework, and download the 7 wave bath. The premiere. Oh, all right, my premiere is going on. It's been going on for an hour now, but I can't watch it. I'm doing this, so some people already watched this premiere right there. So yeah, probably the people been jamming in there. So let me check with this in the community tab. Let me see. That sister, YouTube, I couldn't see the comment. They removed it. They were like switching and changing people comment. I checked it about like 7 times. I couldn't see it. They wiped out the comment. So that's a sister that did the 7 wave bath. That's her story right there. And you can do it like the sister. She used the moon and did it. I did it, and this thing freed me from my 11 years of backwardness. The 7 wave bath is like probably the most powerful bath that I did, and she saw this creature, just some kind of creature with his tail shaped like a baseball bat, and then this is the closest thing that I could come up with it, and then this thing saw her, and that thing left in fear. So those entities, they exist, they are attached to your body. Okay, so you need to get them off of you. So yeah, so that's the sister story. That's the rapture. All boarding flights for the rapture have been canceled. No refunds. That's right. You jackasses ain't gonna go nowhere. Is that Jacob Trouble? Yeah, that's the jack wagon right there. 3 to 2 people can fit in there, and you got billions pay for this thing. This jackass right there. So you people ain't gonna go nowhere, man. You did a lot. Okay, you did a lot. So you can go ahead and check our stuff and check the community page. We have good stuff over there for the people that are new. If you excuse me, I have quite a lot of people that are new. If you are new, go ahead and check those things and avail yourself with certain of our knowledge. Okay, let's keep on moving. Now, why all those things are happening, beloved? Why it seems to be the problem? Okay, these things are happening because of Genesis 15 verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 100 years. Yea, indeed. Whereas 1619, 2019, we serve our 400 years. That's why you see the entire world is upside down. The wall is not in a like down. The wall is lacked out. Everybody that were in this blessing, they all lacked out. We were already lacked out. That's why when they come, they lacked out with us, and they see the way, they start testing the way that we are living, or the way that we still are living. They cannot take it. That's why you see a mother take all her child and then throw them out of the window and kill them, and throw herself and kill herself. While the husband was at work. And then when he come back, see things like that. You see mothers literally strangle their children and trying to kill them because they cannot hold the vibration, that we were, the low vibration that we still under. Okay, those people were in a high vibration. They got the money. They worship their own God. They think everything that they got on our land, our expense, were given unto them by their own God. So now the mighty one cut off their blessing, kicked them out, and locked them out. They can get back in. They are freezing in the cold out there, just like we were, and then they're taking themselves out because 1619, 2019, 1618, 2018, 1617, 2017, whatever the date you want to put it, the 400 is over. There'll be no Jacob's trouble. This is Esau's trouble. Now, Genesis 15 verse 14, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. That's why the mighty one is judging this nation through the 10 plagues of the apocalypse of Abraham. We are in plague number 9, execution by the sword. We've been doing execution by the sword for a whole month now. We barely touched on the others. They are happening though. It's just so much people are dropping. We just do that for now. All right, let's keep on moving. Is that thing even recording right now? Is it? Yes. Let's see if the beat is there. Is the beat there? Is the beat? Oh, all right. So, yeah, okay. All right, let me see if the beat is working, just in case we need to drop some of that song like yesterday. Yeah. All right, the beat is good, just in case if we need it. Boy, all right, we're good with this. Let's keep on. How long we are into this thing? Oh yeah, you know what? Let's trace a ley line. All right, from Red Spring. Is that what that is? That thing happened in Red Spring. Let's see if we can trace a ley line from I don't know, Devil's Butte Mountain, Bear Butte. All right. Let's try to connect it to Half Moon Bay. Let's try to do this. All right, let's try to connect Red Spring. Oops. Of course, brothers, those things are happening in key places. Red Spring, the color red. Red Spring, North Carolina. All right. Let's see if we can put a ley line there. What's going on here? Why? Oh, it's gonna take some time. Old girl here, she usually takes some time to do her business. But I was supposed to go get that other laptop. I never had the time to go get this thing. Anyway, that's Red Spring right here. Let it wait to be clear. Red Spring. Okay. Well, I don't think there's anything red about that spring, but anyway. It's actually a whole place. So let's put a pin there. Let's call it MS3, and then we'll put it there. And let's trace a ley line over there. Oops. Excuse me. All right. Let's see where we're going to get it. Is there any ley line here that are close that we have done before? There's one. There's a plane crash right here. Okay. Anything close? Oh, there's a lot there. Oh, we can connect it to Washington. Let's connect it to what this thing happened over there. Where this thing happened, MS11. Let's connect it there. Okay, we save this. Let's save it. Line measure MS3. All right then. Okay, let me see. Okay. Interesting. Let me see. It passed. Red Spring, it passed next door, close to. Is something gonna happen in Tennessee? People in Tennessee need to watch it out. Close. Let me see the town that he passed over. Spring Hill, Columbia. Passed to Springfield, Columbia, Lexington, Humboldt. Damn, that thing passed like right down Humboldt, right on top of it. Medina, anything right on top. Brooklyn, Bono, Cave City, Harriet, Gilbert, Jasper, Ponca, Kingston. Okay, pass a lot of city straight over them. So we don't know what's gonna happen, but that's what it is. Oh, Santa Fe, that thing passed like right on top of Santa Fe. Is it in Arizona? But anyway, so we have some of the ley line. What we're gonna do? We're gonna keep tracing ley line. That's when MS happen. This thing gonna be loaded with ley lines, man. All right, brethren, let us keep on moving. All right.
Others in the van. The suspect.
Thank you, Samad. New this morning, alleged drunk driver slams into a packed church passenger van in Placentia.
Yeah, that crash killing 3 people, including a 10-year-old girl, and injuring 7 others in the van. The suspected drunk driver was hurt as well. Mario Ramirez is live at the scene now with the very latest for us this morning. Mario, good morning.
So, a church van. 3 people or no more, a 10-year-old girl included in that. So you know who's in the midst. Of course, a church van, the mighty one is giving them unto shame and reproach. If those people did listen, some of our people, most likely, some of the people that are here, they could have been in there in that van going to church, and they could have been the... They could have been the victim. Oh, well, I'm quite tired. What time is it? 9:46. They could have been the victim. So 3 people or more, including a 10-year-old little girl, 10 Michael in the midst. Of course, we know that. And again, with you people doing your stuff and act like you don't know us, you don't hear us, and we are telling the truth. So that's what happened to you now. And these things are happening to you because you are defiling the land. You live upon the land of the Most High. You refuse to follow His law, statutes, and commandment, and you're being punished like the way that we were.
Morning.
Good morning. That driver behind bars this morning, and we can tell you that the streets where this happened just reopened. The intersection.
What's the name of the place? Placenta? Is that what that is?
This happened just reopened. The intersection behind me, but this horrific. Good morning.
Oh, Placentia. What is Placentia? Hang on, I'm getting something in there. Translate Placentia. No.
Listings for Translate Placentia around Miami. Here they are.
But that's not what that is. I didn't ask you to do anyway. So, it's Placent. Is it the same Placentia? Is it the same as placenta? Yes, it is the same as placenta. Okay. What is a placenta? Talking about birth here.
According to Penn Medicine, the placenta, commonly referred to as the afterbirth, is a disc of tissue that connects a mother's uterus to the umbilical cord and is ultimately responsible for delivering nutrients and oxygen to a fetus.
Okay, so the placenta, of course, according to what we know, the placenta or the inside of the placenta, it's a well protected thing. This thing is extremely hard, man. This is a spiritual realm. Okay, so the Most High telling us about some birth. Are we going to have to get a birth here? So again, one of the main reasons this child is upside down. Let me see. Ear. There you go.
According to Cleveland Clinic.
Yeah. There we go. I'm not gonna go too much into that, but I will just use this one because it's kind of like the simple portion. If you look at the child and you look at your ear, the ear where you listen, it looked like a baby that is upside down. And again, I'm not gonna go into these details because it's too much, where you can activate certain gland. I was learning about certain stuff, but anyway, so when the baby is upside down, remember, this is your womb is a portal. This is what transferred the soul into this realm. Okay, this baby, let's say this baby today is Zedek. He's a Zedekite, so he's been fused from Zedek, came from all the way from Zedek to here, and then he's waiting for his birth. Now the angel or the guardian angel that's supposed to watch him, the moment the head popped out, that's why the soft spot, baby soft spot. Okay, so Fontanite, what's the proper name for them? An infant born, okay, isn't complete. Why they don't have a name for it? They Fontanelle? Oh, called Fontanelle. Okay, now we know the proper name, Fontanelle. See, the Fontanelle, so to speak, okay, is the baby. It's like in the middle of your head and stuff, which you should not touch it. And the moment the moment this child came out, the mother's portal through here, you see, that's why the soft spot is right there. The moment the child pop up, and then if the child is not crying, making any noise, the spirit is not in it yet. The child is alive, but it doesn't have the spirit. It depends which one that get in first. It depends which one, okay? Because you have an angel and you have the other fellow waiting for the birth. And the moment this Zedekite child came out, and then the angel flew, the energy flew in the soft spot, okay? And then in that spot right there, it flew right there. They call that the crown, the top of your head, the crown. Okay, the crown, that's why, it is always wise to cover your crown if you go a certain place you don't trust. Okay, the soft spot right here, that's where the soul, the angel or whatever energy enter, and then the child start crying, he become alive, and then he recognize like instantly where he is. He knows that. He knows he's not in Zedek anymore. And then we realize, oh man, I landed on Earth finally. All right, just like the movie Avatar. They're well over there. Boy, but I left Zedek and come here. If it was a Shemesh, I say, oh, I left Shemesh here and stuff like that. So that's what the placenta is, the spiritual realm, so to speak. And then you were born in there, you were in there, and then you came out, so yeah, so with this place called placenta, it really said something to me, is that placentia is the same as placenta, where Michael destroyed the church. Is it a new beginning? Is the Most High is telling us like the church, the leadership, the lower priesthood of the church is no more. There's a new birth of a new leader. There's a new birth of the chosen. There's a new birth of the Christ. There's a new birth, a new beginning that came from the spiritual realm, the placenta that are here. Is that what that is? I don't know. You let me know in the comment board or the live chat. What do you think like the Most High is telling us here? And look for the number 11, which we've been over this. Just you do a little bit of homework.
A driver behind bars this morning, and we can tell you that the streets where this happened just reopened, the intersection behind me. But this horrific crash has left the local church community heartbroken. Some of the members were here overnight learning about those 3 victims killed and several others that were sent to the hospital. Take a look. We have a photo here. Family and friends, members of the same church where they were coming from, showing up.
All right, so those are innocent children, okay, because their parents are ignorant, all right, and they don't want to listen, okay. They send those 2 kids, well, at least one of them, if she is the little 10-year-old girl, to their doom, man. This is not good. That's why a lot of grandmothers and grandfathers are really trying to not let grandchildren go to church and protected them, okay.
These photos, 10-year-old Lucero Lopez, who was with their family coming from church, her 8-year-old brother among the victims taken to the hospital.
So a brother and sister, man, a brother and sister. The brother is 8, she's 10, Michael and the new beginning, and then placenta, and then there is a new beginning, brethren, okay? But wow, crazy, man.
This was all about 8:45 last night. Officers responding here to the intersection of Orangethorpe and Melrose Street, initially for a 3-vehicle crash. 2 of them remained here on the scene that we saw. A black...
You see the yellow vest, the yellow top right there. Okay, this is symbolic right there. Can you see it? Can you see the symbol right there? Can you see what I'm seeing? Maybe it's me seeing this, but this is quite symbolic right there, man. Damn. Whew. All right. If you look at in this ambulance or this paramedic truck, you can see the word lynch, And then this is the 6-pointed star, the Star of Solomon, the Star of David, plus, Raphael, the snake, the healer in there, and things like that. But lynch, remember when they were lynching all people, man? Wow. Kind of like a spiritual lynch, man. They like those people. This is horrible, man. Just to send there, and then there's dead bodies in the back. Whew. Man, the mighty one is horrible, man. That's terrible, God.
Honda Accord driven by that suspected DUI driver, and a white van, witnesses say, was returning from Bible study at a neighborhood church on Walnut Avenue.
Hang on. Mission de Facultus. Mission de Facultus. All right, I got an idea, but I'm not quite sure. Translate Mission de Facultus. Yeah, whatever.
Here is your translation.
Yeah. Thank you, Google. You're doing a great work for us. No. Let's check. Oh boy. Where's English? No, wait. Spanish. That's what we're trying to. There you go. Spanish to English. It's called Mission de Fe Culto. So it's called faith mission. Why would a church even use this word, called faith? Lunes, martes, viernes, Monday, Tuesday, Friday at 7 p.m., Domingo, Sunday at 9 p.m. Culto General las Familias que servían al Señor. The general cult of the families that serve the Lord. Is that what that is? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, why would they call themselves cults? Christians usually don't use that word. They use assembly or tabernacle, but they don't use cult. But anyway, cults, it's not that good to use as a Christian. But
van carrying 10 people, including the church pastor and a young girl who was reportedly ejected from the van and taken to Children's Hospital.
Okay, the van accidentally literally killed the pastor. Okay, killed 3 people. Killed the pastor and the little brother and sister. This is terrible, man. This was not supposed to be done, man. But hey, it happened.
Orange County, where unfortunately we learned she died from her injuries. Multiple people, witnesses reporting to police that suspected DUI driver ran a red light here before the horrific crash.
Oh, good.
We were just coming from church, and I guess in the
then
car...
Then again, this dude name is Christian Olvero, okay? All right? Christian Olvero, okay? Church member. He's a Christian, he's a church member, plus Christina. What's Olvero mean? Olvero. Olivero? Is it Oliver? Is that what that is, Olvero? Let me see. What does the name Olvero mean? No, not Alvaro.
Elf warrior, according to thebump.com, meaning guardian, all guard. Elf warrior, a boy's name of Spanish origin. Olvaro means guardian. It also has the more whimsical meaning of elf warrior, which will delight the fantasy inclined.
Olvero. It's Olvero. Is it Oliver? Yes, it's Oliver. Yeah, Oliver. What does the name Oliver means?
Olive tree.
You can't make
According
this
to
up.
Very Well family, origin, Oliver comes from Old Norse
You
meaning
can't make-
ancestors' descendants.
What?
It also stems from the Latin and French words for olive or olive tree, respectively.
Yes, the
Gender,
olive tree.
Oliver is commonly used as a boy name.
Oliver, you can't make this up, man. You know, Christian Oliver, you know, the body of the chosen, that is the olive tree. Well, from the olive tree you get the oil tree. Okay, I believe Revelation 5 and 6. Let's check Revelation. I believe Revelation 6. Let's check it. Revelation 6. 5. Okay, so Revelation 6:6. Well, let's begin at 5. And when he had opened the third seal, okay, I heard the third beast said, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. You know, oh boy, it's 10 o'clock. Oh man, it's already 10. Oh man, I got stuff to do. Why is it that I keep? All right, I'll check. I'll do this later. I'm supposed to do that thing at 10, but all right, then I'll check that later. Anyway, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat upon him had a pair of balance in his hands. Okay, when Saturn brought the balance, that was like during the solar eclipse that happened in October last year. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, the four quarter of the earth, okay, saying, "A measure of wheat for a penny," okay, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Now, when they say the oil and the wine, usually when you're talking about oil in the Bible, we're talking about olive oil. When you talk about the wine, you're talking about grapes. You're talking about the raisins. Okay, so oil, okay, which from the olive tree, okay, which from the olive tree. So it hurt not thou the olive tree and the wine tree, or the raisins and stuff like that. So that's why in this accident right here, Christian Oliver, or the olive oil, or the body of the Christ that is supposed to be the oil, the black judge is ordered not to hurt the olive oil, or not to hurt the oil, which we are the oil and the wine. Crazy. Wow.
The black car just came and hit the white van, and I guess body flew out.
All right, so that's the pastor. Is that what that is?
And that 10-year-old girl's stepfather, identified by family and friends here as 36-year-old Alberto Vicente Lopez, among...
Okay, he's 36 years old. So we're not making those things up, Bridget. Okay, he's 36 years old. I believe he's the pastor. This dude got a look in his face and stuff like, that's his daughter? I don't know. Anyway.
Friends here is 36-year-old Alberto Vicente Lopez, among those killed in the crash as well. The girl's mother and 8-year-old brother in the hospital right now. And police say 3 to 4 people were taken in critical condition. Meanwhile, back out here live, that 24-year-old suspected DUI driver, again, behind bars this morning. And we're working to learn more about that third person who lost their life here in this crash. We'll have updates as they come in here on Good Day LA, but that's the latest here in Orange County and Placentia. We'll send it back to you.
Wow, this is terrible, man. Well, that's what that is, man. That's what happened, man. DUI crash, man. Kill people, man. Crazy. How long we all into this? Oof. All right, let's keep on moving. But I'm thirsty.
All right, so it's a very well-populated area, but this...
Okay, let me let this play and then go get some get water and stuff.
Breaking news right now, Mesa police have just released the identity of 2 teenage girls who were found dead in a canal over the weekend. Welcome to 12 News at 1. I'm Treya Mai. Officials say the bodies of 17-year-old Sitlali Avalar and 15-year-old Cameron Myers were found on Saturday near 58th Street and Southern in Mesa. Both girls were reported as runaways, and both had been staying at a group home nearby. Team 12's Jade Cunningham is live from Mesa this afternoon. And Jade, what are police saying about those teens?
Well, right now they say that it's a very active investigation. And just to paint a little bit of a picture of where we are, the retention pond is behind me where those bodies were found. East Southern Avenue is to our left. It's a lot of cars traveling on that road. And there's a golf course to our right. So it's a very well populated area. But this water basin, this retention basin, is heavily surrounded by brush, trees, bushes, so it is kind of hidden in a way. And again, these two girls were reported missing about 2.5 weeks ago on January 7th after leaving a nearby group home. And again, just to reiterate, Mesa Police confirming that the two girls are 17-year-old Sitlali Avalar and 15-year-old Cameron Myers. They say officers were called out to this area Saturday night around 6 or so after a report came in of a body in that water retention basin. Police came, they looked the area, and they were able to confirm that body being found. They also looked some more. They found the other body a few yards away. Now, again, this happened Saturday night. Mesa Police, though, just confirming with us this information. This investigation is ongoing. Detectives now trying to figure out when the death happened and how that death happened. They're asking anyone with information to come forward. Now, Mesa Police, they are expected to speak with us within the hour, so you want to stay with 12 News on air and online as we continue to follow this story. We'll have more coming up in our later newscast. Reporting live, Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
All right, thank you, 12 News. Boy, I was getting water, so I don't know what happened here, but I know we have number 12. So anyway, excuse me. Ooh, boy. All right, let's keep on moving. Just walk right in the kitchen. I'm out of breath. What the hell? Anyway.
Another case of domestic violence leaves 2 people dead in Montrose.
Police say they're investigating what appears to be a murder-suicide. Ugochi Iloka is live in Montrose with the latest. Ugochi?
Wait, didn't I watch that before? I don't know. I mean,
hey, Dave and Steph, this all started when someone called Houston police saying that they were worried about their neighbor. And what police found next was a tragic sight involving a young man and woman, both dead, both in their 20s, they tell us. So take a look. This is what the scene looked like here overnight. We know HPD discovered the bodies of this pair just before 8:30 p.m. last night. They were found in a townhouse on Van Buren Street after police say they were able to get a key to get inside the home. Houston police tell us both appeared to have been shot in the head in what they believe was a murder-suicide. According to officers, the couple recently broke up and the girlfriend was at her job briefly before the shooting happened.
Wow.
They were dating, so it's boyfriend and girlfriend, and she had left to work and she was supposed to come back. But she didn't. When she didn't return, they became concerned about her.
Crazy. Boyfriend took her girlfriend out, took his girlfriend out, and he took himself out. Crazy, man. Again, plague number 9, execution by the sword bridge. Okay, there's so much going on. All right, keep on moving.
To exist. 90 seconds to midnight. The doomsday clock has moved closer to 12. So what does that truly mean?
The doomsday clock is a metaphor for how close we are getting to existential crises that threaten human existence.
Nah. Well, first of all, they have a so-called black woman in there explain to you why the war is going to end. And like you will associate, you always associate our people with bad news. Like why this woman is there telling me like what this war is going to be, So, but that's not what that is. What she said, the clock literally tell them about their blessing. They know the blessing is over. They know this thing is like 90 seconds closer, and it is done.
So essentially that's what it means. It doesn't mean that the world is going to end. However, it does mean that the threats that we are concerned about, particularly in the realms of nuclear war.
No, that's not what that is, man. Nuclear war is your least worry right now, when you got oh boy, I'm not in my Mac, but let me see if I can get it. That's not your worried right now. Let me see if I can get. You know what? Some people are still in there. Yeah.
Shalom, beloved brother.
Okay, when you have things like that, okay, when you have like one of those ships show up and cover the whole New York, man. That's your worry right there. When you have like giant spaceship or what you're calling UFOs, coming on top of cities, that's your worry, man. When you have portal open and then people with a ship are traveling back and forth, people are getting in, people are getting out, and giant portal device open in a whole city, that's your thing, man. That's how you're gonna be worried. That's your word. That's why you got the 90 seconds, because these things, well, they not only they're going to happen, but and when they do, you're not gonna be able to be taken in those flying cities, on those flying UFOs. See how this thing dwarf your skyscraper. This is the size of the city coming in and then clean you out. Take everybody, except for you. Okay, except for you. That's what you are afraid of when something like that literally cover a whole country, a whole island, this thing cover like the whole the Australia, okay, a spaceship that cover Australia and then shoot a beam of smoke in there and then literally cook everybody that need, after it shoot a beam of light and then took everybody in, this thing can house like an entire continent, and that entire oceanic continent with every habitant that they could get, and then literally burn and purify the whole continent down there. This is what you fear, not nuclear war. Get out of here.
Climate change and emerging technologies such as biological hazards, that those crises are becoming more and more prevalent, and they are much more broad.
Russia's attacks on Ukraine and the threat of nuclear war chief among the concerns.
As I listen and speak to my colleagues on the board who are experts in nuclear threats, I can tell you that
that's the thing. Okay, they are experts now. Anytime things like they want to control the narrative or something happened to us, let's bring the experts. And then anytime things are happening out there to them, like, yo, why there are so many popcorns? Why there are so many people out of their mind? Why there are so many car accidents? Where are those experts? Yeah, my colleague's the expert. She's in the toilet right now, destroying it.
They are extremely concerned, more concerned than I've ever seen them be in the nearly 8 years that I have served with.
Well, you haven't been there for that long, 8 years. I thought you was going to say at least 80 or 30 years, but anyway.
Since 2002, Dr. Suzette McKinney has done this type of work in public health and in emergency preparedness. Paired with the attacks on Ukraine, the pandemic is one of the panel's deepest concerns.
And what do you think about the COVID-19 response initially and where we are now with it as we enter this 4th year of this pandemic?
I would say that the global response to COVID-19 was significantly impacted in large part, again, because we have pockets of countries that just don't have the capability to quickly detect the emergence of these diseases and then upon detection to respond to them appropriately.
So, Doctor, we're at this juncture. What do we do now as a society to roll back the time on the clock, if that's even possible?
We need to come together.
I believe that it's possible, and I cannot thank you enough for the question, because that is the exact purpose of the setting of the doomsday clock. So what society can do and members of the general public can do, we urge and encourage you to read the Doomsday Clock statement. Talk to your leaders. Talk to your local leaders, your state level leaders, as well as your federal leaders and policymakers, and help them understand what your concerns are.
Yeah, we're like, our people concerned with reparation, which is a part of the, doomsday clock. We talk about that. What did DeSantis say? No more of that thing in there. We talk to them about everything. What would make you think they would listen to us about something like that? They know for a fact you cannot stop time. Is that
hardest places to travel around?
Anyway, suddenly now, technology being built to explore Antarctica climate. Yeah, whatever. As if you weren't been doing that. Yeah, man, get out of here.
Antarctica is one of the coldest places on Earth, and perhaps one of the hardest places to travel around. Researchers say they built a new device to explore the continent in hopes to fight climate change. Meet what the team calls IceCube, an electric rover designed to collect climate data. The project manager told CBS News.
We really had no idea what to expect, so for us it was also a surprise when the vehicle fantastically outperformed our expectations.
The contraption took 2 years to build. It runs on solar power to do its research.
Currently there's nothing like our vehicle existing in Antarctica, and there are no really electric vehicles in this environment.
IceCube is a prototype for now, as it's being tested in Norway. It will be another few years before IceCube is dropped into the frigid South Pole for more testing. First,
I'll tell the nation to keep brother IceCube in your prayer. After all that brother went to NWA, they're going to drop him in Antarctica in that cold. Oh, good grief.
Now,
terrible.
the excess deaths in the UK are up again for the week ending the 13th of January, over 20% on the week. And I'm going to be looking at data from the United States, Canada, Australia, the UK and New Zealand, which all show an increase in excess deaths of varying amounts, but they all show it. Now, in the past, we've looked at the Austin Bradford Hill criteria. Sir Austin Bradford Hill, famous British data scientist who worked with Sir Richard Doll, and they identified that smoking causes lung cancer back in the 1950s. And one of the Austin Bradford Hill criteria was consistency. So what they found was if you looked at people that smoked a lot in the States, they got more lung cancer. If you looked at people that smoked a lot in Australia, they got more lung cancer. If you looked at people in Timbuktu who smoked more, they got more lung cancer. There was consistency, geographical consistency. And we're seeing an increased deaths all around the world in now sophisticated Western countries.
There you go. I don't know why this guy's still alive. I don't know why Dr. Campbell is still there. Like, why? Because he been saying too much, okay? Excess death in 30 countries, primarily Western world, okay? The book of Obadiah, thank you for the brother that shared this with me. The vision of Obadiah concerning Edom, and then the whole book of Obadiah is just slam unto Esau, man, So, yeah, man, yo, dog, this thing it's bad out there, and the doctor is telling it the way that it is. And the media is not talking about that because they don't want the people to know about it.
I'm going to start off with a few graphics that illustrate this, and really it is becoming quite concerning that these levels that we are seeing.
Yeah, because
this first graphic here is the United States, and of course, as always, I'll give you all the links. So that's the start of 2022 there. Now, that's the end of the Delta wave. That's the Omicron wave, which, although it was less deadly, was much more prevalent. But we do see as the year goes on, we see that here we had about what we would expect. The green line is what we would expect. The red line is a statistical increase. So for the second half of 2020, we see 2022, we see excess deaths. So have a quick look at that there. So the blue line is the actual deaths. The red line would represent a statistical increase, and the green line is what we would expect. So for the second half of 2022, we are seeing excess deaths in the United States. And this is the trend we looked at in the UK as well. For the first half of 2022, there was some excess deaths, but then that increased. The rate of excess deaths seems to be accelerating, which is the alarming part. I really hope it stops soon. But as of now, there's no evidence that it's stopping. So that's the United States. Now, this is the cumulative excess deaths for the United States. Now, this is for all the pandemic years here. So, of course, they're going up through the years of the pandemic. and they're topping out there at about.
And that's not what they said. That's not what they say. They say this thing go down. They say, oh, you never. When that thing began, they were talking about, oh, there's so many deaths in the black community. Then they stopped talking about it. You see how this thing rises every year. It rises, but they don't report it. If they don't report it, that means it's not happening. But okay.
1.2 million Americans have died, excess to what we would expect. But there again, of course, a lot have died from COVID. We would expect this during the pandemic. But throughout 2022, when Omicron predominated, here we see 2022 here. And this figure here is actually about 242,000 excess deaths. And that's just up until December. So we can expect that to go up well over 250,000 in the United States. And bear in mind, in the United
So, all right, now I don't want to, swagger jack the good doctor or this good job he's really doing out there. So you can go ahead and check him, man, because they are not talking about this thing, man, They are not talking about, they've been flagging his channel and all that. But anyway, keep on moving. How long we are into this? Oof, all right, then let's keep on moving.
He worked to reduce crime in his own community here in New York City, but was then murdered while on vacation in another country. 38-year-old Eric Garvin, a lawyer from Staten Island, was in Chile when his passion for travel and photography came to a sudden and violent end. He was shot to death on the streets of Santiago. His father, devastated by the news, spoke exclusively with Eyewitness News reporter Mike Marza about the tragic loss. Mike?
Sade, so heartbreaking. Eric Garvin went to Santiago with his best friend. The two stayed in separate parts of town, and when Garvin's friend couldn't find him, well, he went to the U.S. Embassy to report him missing, but instead, he was dead in a hospital morgue. Chilean authorities telling the family Garvin, who, as you mentioned, was an avid photographer and explorer, may have been wrongly targeted in a drug turf war. Eric Eugene Garvin visited over 40 countries, many with his older sister Naomi. There they are in Cuba.
He made friends very quickly with our hosts and her extended family and even some of the neighbors on the block. But yeah, he never had a concern about going out of the country.
But on vacation in Santiago, Chile, Saturday, January 14th, he was shot and killed, taking a picture.
From a father's perspective, this is the darkest day in my life. In my wife's life.
His father and sister flew to Chile to meet with investigators who are reviewing unreleased security video of the crime.
What they told us was that my son was innocently walking down the street. He paused for a moment. He took a snapshot of a building in a drug-infested area. And immediately following that, 3 gentlemen came across the street, grabbed my son, stole his phone, and they shot him 3 times. And he died there on the scene.
The 38-year-old attorney by trade graduated high school in Maryland and moved to Staten Island a decade ago. He lived a life of exploration and service, inspired by his dad, a former U.S. Air Force colonel.
When he was going to law school at University of Maryland, he met a homeless guy by the name of Darnell. And Darnell had this growth growing on the side of his face, and he had no idea what that was. And my son said, hey, you need to go to the doctor to check that out, make certain it's okay. And what he ends up finding out was that was cancerous. And if it was left untreated, he was going to die. My son going to law school, he was using his advocacy for those who are often not paid too much attention to.
Gene, as his family called him, also worked with former Mayor de Blasio's office on community initiatives to reduce gun violence in areas like Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Oh, I want people to be more like him, right? I want people to make space for each other. I want them to be curious about meeting each other and about experiencing each other's cultures.
His sister Naomi asked me to mention that Santiago is a beautiful place with beautiful people, and authorities there have been helpful in this investigation and are.
Well, the sister name is Naomi, was Naomi? No, Mariam was the sister, was Moses' sister. Naomi was a great teacher, so to speak. Naomi, she taught Ruth. Is that what that is? Let me double check. I don't want to say certain things here if I don't have the proof. Naomi taught Ruth.
Check out these pictures.
Okay. Naomi taught Ruth. Alright, is that what that is? Naomi and Ruth. Alright. Naomi and Ruth. Naomi would be your sex ed teacher. Remember, Ruth is not actually a Moabite. She was born in the land of Moab, one of our own that was born in Moab. And then Naomi taught her, how to go to Boaz and then take Boaz's third leg and do certain action that produce certain seed that David came from. Hey, that's where Yahushua came from, son. That's what that is. The women back then, you shouldn't drink wine when they give it to you because certain things the women back then were terrible. They know if they ask this many will refuse because of the law, so they break the law. They got all sort of technical things to break the law. But anyway, which they didn't break it, so loophole. So all right, let's keep on moving, brethren. Okay. Oh, hey, I was watching this thing. I'm not gonna play it, but Ancient Aliens, the Star Children. You mean the Star Seed? Yeah, whatever, man. Stop swagger jacking, man.
Tonight, 2 Hialeah police officers are under arrest, accused of beating a handcuffed man until he was unconscious. Prosecutors said that they then tried to get a friend to help them cover it up.
Let's get right to Local 10's Ian Margot live in Hialeah with our top story.
They are police officers. That's what they do.
These 2 officers are charged with armed kidnapping and battery. The younger of the 2 also facing an official misconduct charge, and that third man is facing a charge for tampering with a witness.
Rafael Otano.
2 Hialeah police officers now facing serious charges.
It's a sad and disappointing.
Okay, let me hear that guy's name. It seems like they see a name here. Let's listen to that.
Witness.
Rafael Otano.
Rafael. Rafael is in the mist, aka Jason, but anyway, Rafael.
2 Hialeah police officers now facing serious charges.
It's a sad and disappointing day when any officer betrays a badge.
We will not allow rogue police officers to abuse their powers.
Officers Rafael Otano and Lorenzo Orfila are accused of kidnapping and beating up a homeless man, and their friend, private investigator Ali Amin Saleh, is charged with tampering with a witness. The charges stem from an incident on December 17th when Orfila and Otano were dispatched to a call at the Tres Conojitos Bakery. There they found Jose Ortega Gutierrez, a homeless man who frequents the area.
Ortega Gutierrez was detained and placed in handcuffs by Officer Orfila and then placed into the rear of his Hialeah police car.
But investigators say Ortega Gutierrez hadn't committed any crimes and didn't deserve to be detained, let alone what they say happened next.
He was taken to an isolated and dark location against his will. And while handcuffed, he was allegedly beaten and thrown to the ground by the officers.
They say he was beaten so badly he was knocked unconscious and had significant injuries. Then investigators tell us days later, Saleh tried to bribe the victim with cash to lie about the whole thing.
There's been a horrible miscarriage of justice.
But attorney Michael Pizzi, who represents Otano, says the investigators got it all wrong.
Mr. Otano is going to try this case in a court of law, and we think in the end of the day, we expect Mr. Otano to be exonerated.
So if they are eventually found guilty, these charges carry a maximum possible sentence of life in prison.
Wow.
Live in Hialeah, I'm Ian Margot, Local 10 News.
Yeah, because this is attempted murder, man. The guy didn't do anything to them. They just find him somewhere. He didn't commit any crime. They brought him to a place. They beat him until they almost killed him. Why? Crazy, man. Crazy. Those cops.
This is very difficult. These are our neighbors. They're residents of New Orleans.
Well, neighbors in Gentilly, they are reacting to the identities of 3 people whose bodies were found decomposed inside a home.
The youngest victim, only 14 years old. WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor live outside the home on Gentilly Boulevard and Diabity Street. All new at 10, Shay, you spoke with the young girl's mother.
That's absolutely correct, Gina and Sella. And I just wanted to show you all where neighbors have actually placed some flowers outside of the home in memory of all 3 victims. Now, the coroner did confirm today that the 14-year-old, her dad and uncle all died after being shot, but the teen and her dad's names were actually just released today.
I need answers. I need to, what happened.
Okay, I don't, what the hell is this? Why is this plain name is Gentile or Gently? Is that what that is? Gently triple. Anyway, let's keep on moving.
Shot, but the teen and her dad's names were actually just released today.
I need answers. I need to, what happened. Like, who could be? How could you do that?
A mother.
Okay, somebody killed the dad and daughter.
Is hoping for answers. This after learning her teenage daughter was one of 3 bodies found inside a home here along Gentilly Boulevard on January 3rd. The Orleans Parish coroner confirms 14-year-old Ivana Jackson, her dad, Woolman Jackson, and Uncle Alonzo Jackson were all shot and killed. It took so long to positively identify them because police say their bodies were so badly decomposed. Ooh. Amber Lindsay says her late daughter was very close to her father, who had sole custody.
The last time I talked to them, she was doing good, and he was telling me about how the hurricane had just hit and how he was trying to, pick up.
You didn't talk to them in a long time. Wow, that's a terrible thing. They got shot like that, and their body crazy, man.
The pieces and stuff from that.
Neighbors who knew the Jacksons say they were a part of their community and will be missed.
That's terrible. I'd like to know who did it.
When we have a young lady, 14 years old, dead by a gunshot, that's just really hard to take.
New Orleans City Councilman Eugene Green, who oversees the area, says he's been working diligently with fellow council members for ways to tackle crime. Still, with every new murder, he tells me he is disheartened.
At the same time that we had our crime meeting, there was a murder that took place at the corner of Martin Luther King and Reverend John Raphael. There is never a reason.
Reverend John Raphael. That's the second time Raphael came back to back. Remember, Raphael was the one who tell us there'll be no Jacob trouble. It has nothing to do with us, So let's keep on moving.
That is justifiable for committing this type of activity.
Amber says she'll just have to cherish the memories she has of her daughter and her daughter's father in hopes that there'll be justice soon.
I would give my life to have her back right now. I would give me home.
Crazy.
And Gina and Sella, some neighbors have come forward saying that they did hear some sort of altercation. They point out that this could have been the night that all 3 died. Of course, their bodies found days later. Such a sad situation. Reporting live from Gentilly, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
That's bad, Gentilly. Ooh.
We're going to turn now to the breaking news coming out of Memphis today. And 5 former police officers are now behind bars facing a slew of criminal charges, including murder. Investigators say the officers beat 29-year-old Tyree Nichols so badly during a traffic stop back on January 7th that he died 3 days after the violent encounter. A family attorney claims police body cam footage shows the officers beat Nichols nonstop for 3 full minutes, kicking him, pepper spraying him, and tasing him as he cried, "What did I do?"
The Memphis Police Department fired the officers last week after an internal investigation. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg in the newsroom with the breaking details. Lauren.
David and Liz, a district attorney, saying that his department expedited the investigation because of the extraordinary nature of this case. He said that they worked swiftly and fairly, and now those 5 officers aren't just fired, they're also now criminally charged. Each is facing a second-degree murder charge in the death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols. Additional charges for the officers include official misconduct and aggravated assault.
While each of the 5 individuals played a different role in the incident in question, the actions of all of them resulted in the death of Tyree Nichols, and they are all responsible.
5 police officers now behind bars. They're charged in the death of Tyree Nichols, who they pulled over in Memphis for reckless driving. They're accused of beating him so badly he suffered extensive bleeding and was hospitalized. He died 3 days later. And there is body camera video of the traffic stop and the minutes that followed. That video expected to be released tomorrow. And last night, the Memphis police chief urged the public to refrain from violence after they watch it.
I expect you to feel what the Nichols family feels.
Yeah, well, of course. You got this guy and then reckless driving, probably was speeding and caught off a cop. And then because I'm a cop, I'm powerful, I got power, I beat you to death. And they beat the guy to death, man. 5 of them, they gang up on him, they beat him to death. So, crazy.
I expect you to feel outrage in the disregard of basic human rights, as our police officers have taken an oath to do the opposite of what transpired on the video. I expect our citizens to exercise their First Amendment right to protest.
Her department launching one of many investigations, including a civil rights probe by the Justice Department, and the DA in Shelby County saying. So
those are the fellow that did this, enlarged this. 5 police officers. Usually I don't get into things like that, okay? Tadarius, Demetrius, Emmett, Desmond, and Justin, they beat the fellow really, really bad. They kill him. They kill him. This is really bad, man, Crazy things.
The officers may face additional charges, and others in the police department may also be charged.
We all want the same thing. We want justice for Tyree Nichols. It's my hope that if there is any silver lining to be drawn from this very dark cloud, it's that perhaps this incident can open a broader conversation about the need for police reform.
And Tyree's family issuing a statement this afternoon saying that the officers being held criminally accountable gives them hope as they push for justice.
Wow. Crazy, man. The police are out there losing their mind, man. They are beating homeless. They're just beating people for no reason. They just find you and then they start beating you up. Those 2 guys beating those people, those 5 guys beating, crazy.
Just how complex of a manhunt this was, having lost 2.
Okay, so let me try it right here. And those are I believe this is the family. Okay, 2 brothers, it's a happy family here, celebrating that kid 2-year-old birthday with the Christmas tree and all those things that perverted. And then ley line switch, man, that's what happened, crazy. Crazy, man, a lot of crazy thing going on out there. Gotta be careful, man.
The local 10 news tonight, another $1 million heist in Weston.
A family saw our story earlier this week about a similar crime and called to say it happened to them too. Local 10's Leanne Monahan is live with the exclusive.
Yeah, they say they want to get their story out there because they believe there's a pattern here.
I was shocked.
This woman doesn't want to show her face, but says she was feeling deja vu while watching one of our recent reports.
They feel unsafe.
On Tuesday, we told you about a Weston family who had an entire safe, $1 million worth of jewelry, watches, and a rack full of men's clothing stolen from their home in a gated community Sunday evening.
It's right. Saving.
It's somebody that know them, somebody that literally know them. It's gated community. They know where the safe was, stuff like that. And we know those people are Christian, and that's what happened. Weston is like the Hollywood of Broward County. it's like the Malibu over there. Crazy.
The woman and the family, because we had just experienced this same thing.
Turns out this woman and her husband were also victims of a similar robbery, also in a gated community in Weston. Their home broken into on a Saturday evening, December 18th.
It was 6:15 when we left the house. We came home around 10 and we noticed the back sliding glass door was shattered.
Cameras did not capture the crooks in action, but a camera from inside an adjacent room where 2 dogs were kept shows something piques their interest at 7 p.m.
When I went into my closet, everything was almost gone.
The thieves made a beeline for the master bedroom closet, ransacking and stealing pricey jewelry, bags, watches, an entire safe, and a handgun from the bedside table. The total value upwards of $800,000. At 7:13, the camera shows a flashlight and the sound of an alarm. The victim says that's the sound the safe makes when it's tampered with. They left the way they came with more than they could carry, leaving a couple designer bags behind, and the victims feeling violated.
We really had a false sense of security living here.
Well, yes.
And they say
Now
there
you
are
start-
no more blind spots in their house.
No, it's some, most likely it's the people that install those things, those gates, those security systems, and they know where you put your stuff. And the people in Weston, they are wealthy, man. They are wealthy. They got like millions of dollars worth of jewelry and all that stuff. You know, they got a lot of money. So that's what happened. So yeah, crazy stuff. But hey. The ley line switch, man. It's time for you guys to start paying, man. You know, the hood, you've been robbing the hood for a while, so now the hood is robbing you. So, yeah, all right. Let me see if I can. We don't need that. Okay. All right. Let's just keep going through this.
This tycoon is 45, but he wants the body of his 18-year-old self. Tech entrepreneur Brian Johnson wants to reverse the aging process in his brain, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, teeth, skin, hair, everything. He has actually hired a team of 30 doctors and health experts. He gets up at 5:30 a.m. and mixes a concoction called the Green Giant and numerous supplements. Fitness is, of course, a big part of his routine. He works out for an hour every single day. His gym program consists of 25 different exercises, and he also regularly monitors his weight and body fat. He consumes only 1,977 calories a day on an all-vegan diet. To keep track of his health, Johnson undergoes numerous blood tests, ultrasounds, and MRIs. Dr. Rigved Tadwalker says trying to reverse the aging process could be dangerous.
Anything taken to an extreme.
I'll just let the people type what he said, next to this. I don't know. Those people lost their freaking mind anyway, so.
Including a mix of supplements, excessive exercise, excessive changes to the diet can potentially be harmful to the body.
He puts 7 different creams on his face to reverse sun damage. So is any of this working? His doctors claim he has the heart of a 37-year-old, the skin of a 28-year-old, and the lung capacity of an 18-year-old.
Why would the doctor say something else? Why would the doctor say something else? The guy is spending $2 million on you a year. Why would you say something against him? And I would say, hey man, keep those checks coming, son. See how the Gentiles lost their goddamn mind? They lost it.
A recent Homeland Security sting in North Texas where dozens of men were arrested shows there are many of them going online to find prostitutes. These are mugshots of some of the 46 men busted. They include a pro athlete.
Okay, what seems to be the issue here? What is it? Like, while they are selling this cookie online, they are buying it. As they are men, that thing is for sale. They will buy it. So you cops have nothing else to do. 46 plus, 4 plus 6, 10. You want to show the public like, hey, we know all those murders are going on out there and all those killing in Texas, but hey, we got 46. We got 46 dudes that thing with the 11 fingers and their little head, they're literally walking on their third leg. We got them. And people like, you guys are freaking kidding me. People are murdering people all over. You guys can find any of that. They find 2 dead bodies in the canal. All those things. But you spent money to get like 46 dudes that trying to go out there and get some of that stuff because it is for sales. You guys wait. You didn't even worry about this thing. Why is it now? Why is it? Is it some kind of thing? Well, they would put some, pedophile in there to make it look, it's really bad. Nah, man, those people have been doing this thing for like forever. But anyway.
A youth pastor, a high school teacher and coach, and executives. The Dallas DA.
A youth pastor. That's good. That's good.
HS office says what they do exploits and victimizes trafficking victims. Fox Sports' David Centenary joining us with more on the sex.
All right, David, the House of David.
Trafficking investigation and where it led. David.
Yeah, Steve, one nonprofit working to help sex trafficking victims tells me DFW is a hotspot. One, because of its population size, that's the obvious, and 2, because of its transportation of highways, allowing people to get to and from many different areas throughout the country. So I asked them, what is typical of sex trafficking suspects? And they told me the only thing that's typical is that it can be almost anyone. We are learning more about 46 people, a majority shown here, who were arrested at upscale hotels in Frisco and Southlake as part of a multi-agency prostitution sting earlier this month.
It's happening more than people think and know.
Spencer Osachuk, a 31-year-old professional hockey player who's been with the Allen Americans of the East Coast Hockey League since 2013, according to the team's website, is one of dozens charged with solicitation of prostitution. The team tells Fox 4, quote, "We are aware of the situation. We don't have a comment at this time as we gather more information." A Baylor Scott Innes White Health Director of Operations, 49-year-old Jimmy Hemingway, is also charged. Baylor.
And if you look at all those dudes, if 99% of them are not married or all of them have girlfriend and stuff, it's just certain things. Those certain people, man, they have no control over a certain issue, and they're gonna go out there and do this. You'll find police officers, they'll do these things,
Says Hemingway is no longer an employee.
But this is happening. It's happening right up under our noses. It's happening right in our backyards.
Dr. Tanya Stafford Manning runs It's Going to Be Okay, a Dallas-based nonprofit working to assist victims of human trafficking.
Nobody wants to get up and be a prostitute. Nobody wants to be trafficked. Nobody wants to be sold.
Actually, they do. You won't believe what people will do for drugs, man. You won't believe what people will do just to please another. I've seen people, they make these things one side and make those guys look bad. That's not what that is. The whole reason why this thing is happening, one of the main reasons, of course, they are putting so much media attention to this because most of the people that are involved with this on the lighter side, the people that are being trafficked are not our people. That's why they keep putting our people face in there so they know they can fight. They know the black woman will fight for anybody except for herself. They will put her out there and say, fight for those kids. They are children. You got kids too? Fight for them. Because our women are raised like that to feed the enemy children, to breastfeed them, take care of them, and forget about your own. We told you this is Esau's trouble. Let those people deal with their stuff, man.
The dozens of men charged responded to online advertisements for prostitution, according to the Department of Homeland Security. But instead of communicating with women being trafficked, they were unknowingly communicating with law enforcement.
No men go online and look for trafficked women. That's not what that is. That's not men don't go online. They say, so they are looking for trafficked women or women that are slaves. True trafficked women or trafficked to the so-called the rich. Okay, because the rich, they have specific taste. Those guys cannot afford that. okay? Although there's a professional hockey player in there, they cannot afford it, okay? If you do your research, not those scumbag online talking about things they don't know. Big Levi, been in the street, I've been there, done that. I know everything about this thing. Those guys got certain taste, okay? Those are just regular Joes, average Joes, working men that looking for things in a dumpster, okay? You don't go online and type traffic cookies. It doesn't work like that. Okay, and when you people post, like, you post picture of a regular woman, okay, that agree stuff, and then you arrest those men because they were going to come and pay for something that you promised them, you are on the wrong side. This is not good. What you're doing here to those men, this is not a crime. You do know that prostitution is not a crime. Okay, it's not a crime at all. The so-called church, literally, I'm not, brethren, make no mistake, I'm not encouraging people to get involved with prostitution. I'm just telling you, the so-called Gentiles, they what they are doing out there, they're trying to clean up their act. The so-called Dallas, Texas police department been receiving so many bad reviews, so they had to do something like that. Say, see, we arrest 46 men that was about to like pay somebody and do stuff. A lot of people, a lot of Gentiles women are getting into prostitution because they cannot afford the things they used to afford. You know, remember back in the 70s when our brothers were the pimp and the what? Our people, they survive of that, and they were being demonized and beaten and killed, you know, and they had to do this because you lock them out of the economic system. A lot of brothers get into pimping, a lot of women get into certain things, and then the pimp game was demonized. Once the Gentiles get into the pimping game, they turn it into trafficking little girls, little children, because the so-called specifically highly rich, they have taste. Okay, so let's read the comment, you know. Okay, so then again, you say, yet one name not released from those people, the client list. Okay, all right, so that's what it is, man. You see, it's all about supply and demand, and the demand is insatiable. You can't. This is economic right there. There is a supply and demand is way too high. A lot of those men are stressed, and then they need to get things off, and they're not getting something they need to get at home, and they go out there and go buy it. And then you trap them, you arrest them, you make they were going to commit a criminal activity, like they were going to kill this person. Do you know how many of those people, like online dating, that end up in killing them those things? Do you know how many people that are being murdered and killed in the city, and then the Houston police, then they're like, oh, we arrest 46 stuff. But of course, when you look at all of them, they probably got like 2 brother here, 3 brother, that fellow, that guy, him, and 3 brethren. 3, we say this guy is a brother right there. 4 of them. Out of 46, 4 of them, and 42 or something else. You know, it just show you like this thing is affecting them more. One of the main reason that, again, brethren, they are doing this stuff, it's because like most of the people that are doing those things are children of 83 that are on drugs. They are on drugs. They don't care. They need the money. Yeah, they're having hard time. You know, people don't go around and then just grab a little girl, you know, or a woman walking in the street and force her to do things in a hotel. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. The risk is too high. You know, it's usually somebody that have some issue they have in there and do this thing, and then it's never about like that person against their will, the way they try to make this thing look and stuff. You know, that's what you people doing. Once you do things like that, brothers. Remember back in the Bible time, Judah had a problem with this thing, man. You know, remember Tamar? You know, back then it was just you going to any place you buy food. It was all over. It was something, they know it was something conscientious between 2 adults. It wasn't a crime until the so-called 83 came in and make it a crime. But when they did it, it's not a crime. When those people break into the slave quarter, rape our women, rape our children, none of those things happen. But when a black man pay a white woman for a service, they arrested. You committed a crime right there because you paid this woman to abuse her. She's been trafficking and all that. This is a bunch of garbage those people keep coming. But anyway, so it's 83 on 83. You know, 3 brethren got caught up in this thing. You know, hey, you should have been wiser, man. You don't go online, and that's the worst place you can go online and look for this thing. But you know, those certain men out there are desperate, man. They are desperate. Things are heavy and stuff, and things mess with them. Look at those dudes' face, man. I don't think none of them are in their 20s here. Everybody's at least in their 30s to 40s to middle-aged 50s, man. Those men look broken, man. When you look at their faces, look at this, man. You know, they look like broken men, you know. That show you the society, you know, the society of the Gentiles. They done, you know. There's nothing they really can do about this. When those guys had the groove on, the blessing was on, they would have never put anything like that on TV. If they would have put it, you would have seen mostly of this brother right there, that brethren in here. They wouldn't even throw this guy in there, and then this fellow, and then they would have put all those guys with the heavy tan in there and say, oh, this is what happened while cleaning up the city. Get out of here, man.
Seattle police say the collision happened around 8 o'clock. They say the officer involved has been on the force since November 2019 and was driving on Dexter Avenue toward Mercer, responding to a Priority 1 call. That's considered the most urgent. Police also say the woman was in the crosswalk during the collision. We asked if the officer had their lights and siren on and if they had a message for the woman's family, but police didn't answer our questions.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. Give the people real investigation. How did this happen? How did the police patrol car, get into a crash and kill this young woman? She was 29 years old and killed her. You know, they want, oh, well, you know, we have to investigate. But they will spend resources going after a bunch of random dude online trying to get the sock off and things like that. They'll spend money on things like, yo, I want to know what, I walk in the street, I drove my car in the street. What happened to this cop? Why? Did he have his lights on? Did he do the way he was supposed to do? Why all those police officers are grabbing people out of their car and then bring them to dark places and beat them to death and beat them to the point that they become unconscious and die? Oh, well, you have to understand there are prostitution online. We need to go look on this thing. Yeah. Yes, of course, we know about that. But why you people are grabbing people out of the car, okay, beat them to death, kill them, and then you guys don't give any explanation why? Well, you know, this and that. Yeah, whatever, man.
The medical examiner identified the woman who died as 23-year-old Janvi Kandula. She was a graduate student at Northeastern University, based out of Boston.
She's 23? Well, then the other one, oh, what? Well, then there's another one. She was 29. She's 23. Huh. Probably those cops did more than that. I thought that was the same story. Is that death of teenagers? So much things going on here. Seattle police officer, cop car killed 29-year-old. Seattle police. Let's remove. Seattle police. Seattle cop car kill. Let's put cop car. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, that's a month ago. What's going on here?
Boston, and attended courses at the Seattle campus, located just blocks away from the crash. According to a statement from David Thurman, the dean of the Seattle campus for Northeastern, Kandula came to Seattle from Bangalore, India in 2021 to pursue a master's in information systems in the College of Engineering. She was scheduled to graduate in December. Thurman says she was a close friend to many, and friends shared that they loved her bubbly laugh, sense of humor, and infectious personality. Her loss will be felt deeply by students, staff, and faculty across campus.
She got killed, man.
And we did ask SPD for an interview today regarding the collision, but the department declined. For now in Seattle, Brady Walker.
That's what they do. They decline because they can't provide anything. Like, most likely this cop was either drinking or doing something he was not supposed to do, kill this young lady. You know, and then they will come up and say, well, you know, we understand the police are very busy. We're trying to catch people, predators online and things like that. And drug dealers. There's so many drug dealers doing drugs. We got to go ahead. Remember, President Nixon said drug addiction is the #1 issue in America. So, yeah, whatever, man. You guys killed this young lady, man. There was another one. They killed another 29-year-old. Let me see if I can get this. I thought that was the same one. That's what I did. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, let me see. Let me take Seattle out of it. Say cop caught, killed 29-year-old. No, that's 3 months ago. 4 weeks ago. No. It's I think I forgot it. All right, let's keep on moving. Okay.
Welcome to the News Hour. For the first time today, the U.S. announced it will send American tanks to Ukraine as part of a coordinated announcement with Germany, which will also send its tanks.
We'll stop right here. Well, they took out the stuff. We'll stop right here. Let those people go through the trouble, man. All right, let's close with police officers. All right.
A local police chief is facing federal drug charges. Greensburg Police Chief Sean Denning was arrested and arraigned this morning. Erica Stanish is finding out more about this case. We're going to get to her live right now outside the Greensburg Police Department. Erica.
This case is being investigated by the FBI and the DEA, and according to court documents, Denning is facing 6 counts, including aiding and abetting the distribution of cocaine, meth, and other controlled substances.
Okay, so that's what you cops are doing out there, and you want to investigate yourself. The police officer or the government is the biggest drug dealers out there. You guys are the one that get the drugs. You on the airplane, you flew this thing in, you drop it in the hood, and then you set up your little sting. Okay, you arrest our people. Okay, you set up your stuff online, you arrest our people, innocent people, man. You know, just because that person is an addict doesn't mean he's a freaking criminal. They just need this substance because you put it in there, you made them addicted to that, and then you set up stings operation. Oh, we arrest like 400 people that was trying to get crack. Yeah, because you bought the crack here and then they are addicted to it. That's what it is. That's not a crime. Buying, selling, using drugs is not a crime. You made this into a crime, but it's not a crime. It's a crime to us, but when it comes to you, to your people, you open free place of injection. Hey, we cannot arrest our way out of this. No, because you knew it wasn't a crime. It never was, because it's not when someone come and buy drugs from anybody, just like you went to, you got a headache, you go to CVS, Walgreens, and any pharmacy, or any place you bought like a pill, that's not a crime. You got certain things you need to medicate. For those people that take that have diabetes and they need certain medication to take, that's a drug. They need it. That's not a crime. It's the same thing with the people that you put the drugs in there. You put this demon on them. You did this to them. Crazy. And then now you guys are like, oh well, so we gotta sell this thing in too and stuff like that.
Denning has been the police chief here in Greensburg since March 2022, and according to court documents by the Department of Justice, Denning was allegedly first involved in having conversations with a confidential informant in 2021. That confidential informant was working with the DEA as part of the investigation. Paperwork alleges Denning would facilitate getting drugs and connect the informant with them for distribution over a 16-month period. Authorities say some drugs were sourced in California and Arizona and then delivered to the informant through the mail. On several occasions, court documents allege Denning would use the app Wicker to communicate about the drugs. In one conversation, paperwork shows he told an informant the app is encrypted and, quote, safe for both of us. Paperwork also shows a picture of what appears to be cocaine sent to the informant from Denning to show what Denning could supply them with.
This guy is not that smart, okay? See, he uses computer to sell drugs and stuff like that. And there are plenty of him. There are more than 46. You won't see they get guys like that. You know, he's a very rare case they get. You know, I don't know. He probably did not cut someone into these things, but, you know, they sell him out. So, but most of the time, those guys, you know, they really don't care. The police are very co-op, Bridget. The government is very co-op.
Authorities also charged Denning with conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute drugs, alleging he worked with at least 3 sources to distribute drugs, even sending what they called menus listing products and prices.
Because it's a business, you know, it's a business. You know, that's what you people did. You guys are making this thing look like, oh, this is outrageous and stuff like that. That's what you guys did. You brought these drugs here. You did this to our people. Now you get caught up in it. Now it's all of a sudden now. It's like sending menu and stuff. This is wrong. Oh, really? All right, then.
DEA says that they have hard evidence connecting Denning to the case, including messages, audio, and video recordings, as well as surveillance. I reached out to the mayor's office this afternoon for comment. They sent us this statement saying, quote, we believe it's important that the community know that Mr. Denning is no longer with the city of Greensburg.
They caught him off.
Captain Donald Sarsfield will be acting chief until further notice. We are conducting a thorough review and assisting the appropriate agencies as we can. And as of this afternoon, Denning was released on a $250,000 unsecured bond. In Greensburg, Erica Stanish, KDK News.
Glory, praise to the mighty one. Yeah, that's what the police does, man. Those guys never do their job. And they always go after, you know, easy target, you know, things that they set up themselves. They like to do setups. They like to put stings. That's how they do their job. But when an actual crime committed, when somebody actually kill someone, it took them a very long time. Sometimes, most of the time, they don't even know who did this, and a lot of stuff happened. Okay. All right, beloved, I will leave you with peace. I'll say fast, pray, repent, repeat. May the King reign forever. Selah. So be it.